All right, let's get something straight right out of the way. The Dodge Hellcat is stupid fast. Like, why does this sedan need 700 horsepower fast? But here's the thing nobody wants to admit. Raw horsepower isn't the whole story. And if you think JDM can't hang with or straight up embarrass a Hellcat, you're not paying attention. Today, we're talking about 5 JDM cars that can absolutely ruin a Hellcat owner's day. From a dig, from a roll, or worse, on a road with corners. And yeah, if you're still watching, you already know power to weight, drivetrain, and tuning matter more than badge flex. The Hellcat's worst nightmare in bad roads. The Evo X is the final evolution of a rally-bred dynasty. It's the car that proves a 2.0-liter four-cylinder can, in fact, outperform a V8 on a daily basis. Under the hood sits the 4B11T. Out of the box, it's making around 291 horsepower, which sounds cute compared to a Hellcat. But here's where it gets interesting. The Evo's all-wheel control is magic. While the Hellcat is busy trying to hook its rear tires into the road, the Evo is gone. With basic bolt-ons and a bigger snail, turbo, these cars easily hit 500 to 600 wheel horsepower. On a street launch, the Hellcat doesn't stand a chance. Driving an Evo X feels like you're plugged into the Matrix. It's mechanical, raw, and incredibly direct. The steering is so fast, it feels psychic. You think about it, and the car is already there. It doesn't have the torque dip of a V8, but when that boost hits, it pins you to the seat with a violent, surgical precision. The 4B11T is stout, but it's not a Corolla. If you're pushing big boost, you need to watch your AYC pump. It's located in a spot where it loves to corrode and die. And if you neglect your fluids, specifically the SST dual clutch transmission, if you didn't get the manual, you're looking at a bill of $7,000 to $10,000. Let's be real, the interior is basically a 2008 Lancer with better seats. It's plastic heavy and loud, but you get 4 doors and a decent trunk, unless you have the battery/washer fluid relocation back there. It's dailyable, but your spine might disagree after a 2-hour commute. You knew it was coming. You can't talk about killing supercars without mentioning the 2JZ GTE. The MK4 Supra refused to die. For real, we have the MK5 generation, and we still talk about the previous one. It represents the golden era of over-engineering, where Toyota basically built a racing engine and hid it in a GT car. The 3.0-liter inline-6 2JZ. Who doesn't know it? In stock form, it's a smooth, sequential turbo cruiser. But with a single turbo conversion, you're pushing 800, 1,000, or even 1,200 horsepower on stock internals. It's heavy, long, and it feels like a grand tourer. Until the turbo spools. Once that massive single turbo wakes up, the Supra feels like a freight train. It doesn't have the nimble feel of an Evo. It feels substantial. It's about high-speed stability and that glorious, screaming, straight-six soundtrack. The 2JZ is famously bulletproof, but these cars are 30 years old. Rubber perishes, wiring gets brittle, and the super tax is real. Finding one that hasn't been wrapped around a tree or expertly modded by a teenager in 2004 is getting harder every day. The cockpit wraps around you like a fighter jet. It's surprisingly comfortable for long trips, though the back seats are purely decorative. As a daily? Sure. If you want to be followed to every gas station by people asking, "Is that a Supra?" The price tag? Well, you are paying 6 figures for a 90s Toyota. And plus, unless you're pushing 800 plus horsepower, a modern Hellcat will actually be faster. Now this is where it gets interesting. Most people overlook the Z family, and I truly don't understand why. The VQ37 VHR is a high-revving V6 that makes about 332 horsepower. By itself, not a Hellcat killer, but the VQ engine loves boost. Throw a twin-turbo kit or a centrifugal supercharger on this, and you've got a 500-plus wheel horsepower monster in a chassis that weighs 1,000 pounds less than a Challenger. Power to weight is the 370Z's secret weapon. It's a traditional sports car, RWD, short wheelbase, and a manual gearbox. It's tail-happy and communicative. When you boost a Z, it becomes a handful, in a good way. It requires respect. You'll be fighting for traction, but when it hooks, the acceleration in such a small car is terrifying. The VQ is a tank, but it runs hot. If you don't install an aftermarket oil cooler, you'll hit limp mode after 3 hard pulls. Also, pre-2013 models have a gallery gasket issue that can kill oil pressure. Fix those 2 things, and it'll take abuse all day. The interior? It's tight. It's a 2-seater with a trunk that is mostly occupied by the strut tower bar. The tech is from the Stone Age, but the seats are great, and the visibility is, well, it's better than a Camaro at least. The road noise is terrible, and also, the CSC is a ticking time bomb that requires dropping the transmission to fix. If you want to beat a Hellcat and leave him asking, what did I just race? This is for you. The ISF was Lexus's first real F car, built to take on the M3 and C63. It proves the Japanese luxury can have a very mean streak. This is the only one on the list with a V8, the 5.0-liter 2URG SE. It makes 416 horsepower and 371 pound-feet of torque. Now, you're thinking, that's way less than a Hellcat. True, but the ISF has a trick 8-speed transmission that shifts in 0.1 seconds and a chassis that actually knows what a corner is. In a real-world dig or a track environment, the ISF is surprisingly close. It's two cars in one. Under 4,000 RPM, it's a quiet, refined Lexus. Above 4,000 RPM, the secondary intake opens up, and the car sounds like a feral animal. It's balanced, composed, and feels way lighter than it actually is. It doesn't have the brute force of the Hellcat, but it has the relentless speed. It's a Lexus. It'll probably outlive you. The only major gotcha is the valley plate coolant leak. If you see pink crusties under the intake, prepare your wallet. Other than that, it's just brakes and tires. Mostly tires, because it loves to eat them. This is the king of daily use on this list. Mark Levinson audio, high-quality leather, and Toyota levels of air conditioning. It's a perfect sleeper. Nobody expects the grandpa Lexus to have a high-revving V8. And finally, the only true king of the roads, the Nissan GT-RR 35. This car was meant to become a supercar killer. A 3.8-liter twin-turbo V6 paired with one of the most advanced AWD systems ever made. Even a slow 2009 GTR will do 0 to 60 in about 3.3 seconds. A modern one? 2.7. The Hellcat doesn't even compete in stock form. In tuned? Ho-ho-ho! With a full bolt-on setup, it makes 700 plus horsepower easily and becomes officially unstoppable. People say it feels like a video game, but they're wrong. It feels like a machine designed by people who hate physics. It's heavy, but the computers make it move like a flyweight. The gear shifts are violent. The diffs make clunking noises. That's normal, don't panic. And the grip is perfect. The VR38 engine is a masterpiece. However, the GR6 transmission is the weak link. Launching it 50 times in a row will eventually lead to a very expensive clink sound. Maintenance is supercar light. Expect $1,000 plus for a set of tires and $2,000 for brakes. But who cares when you have a GTR? It's a big car. You can actually fit groceries in it. The tech was ahead of its time, but the cabin materials feel a bit dated for a car that costs 6 figures now. The lack of drama. It's so good at being fast that it can feel clinical. Sometimes you want the car to try and kill you a little bit. The GTR is too professional for that. Also, the transmission is noisy at low speeds, which can be annoying in traffic. At the end of the day, the Hellcat is a masterpiece of American muscle. It's the king of the vibes. But if you want to actually win the race, the JDM world offers tools that are lighter and often much faster than they have any right to be. Let me know in the comments which one you'd pick. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the list, and subscribe for more.